Today, I want to show you how I use AI to homeschool, manage my workload, and actually get things done faster. So if you're a homeschooler that's curious about how AI can really fit into your homeschool schedule, or how you can manage AI, do homework, and actually learn more from AI, then this is the video for you. I'm also going to show you real-life examples of how I use AI for my work and how I go about letting it help me do my work a lot better, more efficiently, and more effectively. And the AI tool that I use the most is, you guessed it, ChatGPT. Like, I use it for literally everything. Sometimes it helps me script videos like this one. Other times it could help me write out scenes and story ideas for my novel. I'm in an internship right now with my mom, and I usually use ChatGPT to help me with the captions and the headers that I use for my mother's podcast. So when she goes live and does a video, I usually pull stingers using ChatGPT, generate a transcript, and it helps me create captions for each reel that I will post on her podcast. When I'm working on like a reel for my mom and the caption might seem too big, or I may not like what the caption says exactly, I just ask Chat. Because there are times where a problem might seem minuscule, but it's like overly complex. So for those types of questions, I usually just ask Chat, so it could just reduce the friction and the workload from my mind, so I can focus on what really matters, putting out a good reel for my mom's business. And Chat helps me do that smoothly. I spend less time stuck and more time working on my work. And it's super useful for YouTube. And when it comes to big projects like writing and publishing a book, ChatGPT has been huge for helping me and my sister stay organized through it. Back when we were in the writing stages of our book, me and my sister used ChatGPT to generate sprint deadlines for us to get certain aspects of our book done before it was time to publish. So let's just say I had to take care of the grammar part of the book, and she had to take care of the line editing part. We would split it up into our own separate tasks and have Chat generate sprint deadline plans for us to complete each part of our task. After we finished the writing process of our book, we realized that we needed a book cover. But it's one thing to say, oh, just get a book cover, because that's the next step, right? But then it's like, how do you really come about getting a book cover? So instead of just scrolling through Google on different forums or going through YouTube, we just went to ChatGPT and it gave us a step-by-step plan on how to get the book cover. 1. Go to 99 Designs. 2. Schedule for a designer. And 3. Pay the designer and they just design the book. And it's that simple. Of course, it's a bit more complex than this, but Chat really helped to break this down for us at that time. It gave us an actual roadmap that we could follow. And this has greatly reduced the amount of time this writing process has taken us. And I believe that homeschoolers everywhere, whether you're doing traditional school or entrepreneurial school, you can use ChatGPT to break down key concepts and learn at a better rate. And at first, it might seem like that ChatGPT and all these AI programs might make us just more lazier and less motivated and committed. But I want you to really think about the comparison here. Like, remember when Google first came out? Well, I won't remember because I was too little back then. But before, people thought that it would just make us all lazy. Like, we wouldn't go to the library anymore, we wouldn't read books, and we wouldn't know how to research the real way. But look at what actually happened. Google has saved us time. It's made our work more efficient. It's made us more productive. It's only made our lives easier. And now we can't imagine life without it. And the same thing is just happening with AI, just on a bigger scale. We truly don't know the true extent of AI, how big it's going to get. And it doesn't seem like that it's slowing down anytime soon. So why resist it? Why not join something that's the future? And I believe that the future of homeschool is AI. That's where we're headed now. And I believe it's especially important to get started now using AI, because who knows how much of a premium we might have to pay for it in the future. So we can't just think of AI as shortcuts. Let's see it as ways to help us boost our work and our productivity more effectively and helps us get tasks done faster and in a better way. Now I'm going to show you how I use AI to get work done. So right now, I'm going to show you an example of how I use ChatGPT in my homeschool. So I have the ChatGPT 4.0 open. I think that's what it's called. And I want to show you exactly how I use it just to do work, get things done, answer some questions I might have, and so on. So it's really helpful and I want to show you how I use it. So let's say I finished the draft of my book. I finished going through the editing process, I finished going through the grammatical process, and now I'm to a point where I realize that, hey, I need a book cover. I need a book cover done so when people open the book and see it for the first time, they really get captured by what it looks like. So, but I know I've heard of like a website called 99 Designs. So, how do I go about getting that book cover from 99 Designs? That answer might seem simple, but sometimes might get complex and there might be extra steps someone might not know about. And that's where chat comes in. So, the prompt might look something like this: how do I get a fresh looking 99 Designs book cover for my fantasy novel? So I think that's a good prompt right there. So I can just hit enter. It's going to generate a response for me. I'm using the new ChatGPT, the latest version, which is a paid version. I think it's $20 to $10 a month, but you can easily do this with the regular version. And it's just generating a response now. So chat has just finished generating its response, and immediately I see something that I actually left out before. The fact that you have to have a great cover brief before sending anything out to a designer. And before sending any type of brief or any type of message to the said designer, it's good to have a lot of information about the genre, tone and mood. Maybe you want to avoid cliche fantasy fonts or busy backgrounds, etc. And the most important, in my opinion, might be the inspiring images. Like me and my sister had to sketch out an image. Like this was mainly my younger sister doing this, like my littlest sister. She sketched out like this whole green, blue, dark image for our designer to give them a sense of where each character will be on the cover. And I feel like that really helped to solidify our cover and make it to what it is right now. And chat giving us this step was the reason we had an image to give our designer. So I think this step's really important and I'm glad it mentioned it beforehand. Now, the second step that it says is to decide which route to take on 99 Designs. Now, whichever one that you guys want, whether it's like the gold contest or the starter design contest, it'll depend on your budget, your finances. But knowing this step ahead of time allowed me and my sister to consider the budget on our novel and how we governed money and spent it. So it made us just be more careful for this season when we were spending money randomly. And the next thing chat mentioned was to make it feel like a real fantasy cover. So it really helped our designer when we gave them like a lot of visual references. Like we wanted it to be this particular scene in the book, like, oh, they step into the library and this library is full of gold, it's full of books, it's full of chandeliers, and the characters are wearing their own capes and their own, like give it a vibe. So it's good to give multiple examples and prompts and visual references for that designer to have. And usually this is a step that people might skip. So the fact that chat laid it out means that it's actually very helpful in fulfilling details that others might miss. Like, again, I want more mystery, less romance. The font seems too modern. Can we try something more medieval? Like when you're giving feedback to the designer, it means being clear. It means showing what kind of vibe you're going for. And they're going to give you multiple examples around that. It's like chat does the foresight and the research for you before you even get to the website itself. So I think that's really helpful. And again, once you're done giving feedback to the designer and giving them everything that they need, you have to ask for the final exports and the formats for both print and ebook. And then they give you commercial rights to the artwork. And it gives you a few pro tips like the banners, the launch countdowns, and etc. And even a question about the title, the vibe, and the plot hook. So chat has just given me like a step-by-step plan on how to get my book cover from 99 Designs. A fresh new book cover and some tips of how to inform the designer of what I want. Not to say you couldn't do this without chat, but you can see how chat really outlined all the details and made it easier to understand that, okay, I might need to have visual references, I might need to say the right word so the designer knows exactly what I'm talking about. I may have to know my finances, understand how much money I need to spend. So it really just helps you understand everything about the book cover process. And if you need any more deeper questions, you can ask further questions in chat. Like there's no limit. Like, for example, how do I come up with a budget plan for my book cover? You may not even want ebook. You might just want paperback for now. So chat's telling you to specify. Again, there's endless rabbit hole of questions, but chat is able to have the processing power to handle those questions. So chat gives you endless responses to see it's even still going. So I just feel like it could be really helpful in any business endeavor that you're doing. And since our homeschool is based around businesses and starting our own projects, chat has been really, really helpful in our homeschooling year. And using this software was exactly how we got our first book cover for our novel. It outlined all the steps and made things as simple as possible. So I highly recommend using chat for any kind of project that you're trying to get into. And it's like it's a really useful tool. It just outlines all the details and it doesn't make things too confusing. And if it is confusing in the beginning, you just ask more questions. There's an endless amount of questions that you can ask it. And again, you can do this with a regular version or the advanced version. Either way, it still works. And it's useful in both homeschool and business. So I hope my AI examples were clear and you actually understood like how I use AI for my own work. And yes, ChatGPT has just made things much, much easier for me. I couldn't imagine what I'd do without it. Things have just been getting done faster and I feel like I can just use the ideas that I have or that chat creates in a better, much more faster way. So I couldn't imagine my life without AI. And no, I'm not sponsored by ChatGPT. I'm just stating my own experience. And I hope you learned something from it or at least gained insight into like how I use it. I hope this was helpful and I'll see you in the next video.